Caroline Duffy has written a lot of poems. She changes the perspective of major historical events to look at female perspectives, to look at alternative voices, to explore how a story is told from multiple viewpoints. I think this poem is quite indicative of that kind of style of hers. It's worth remembering because you all have digital cameras and you think that photographs are just electronic files. But there was a time where photographs were light printed on film that then had to be developed using chemicals and was actually printed on paper. That's worth noting for what is going to happen in this poem. So, War Photographer. In his dark room, he is finally alone with spools of suffering. So, spools were what the film were on. So, this is literal and becoming metaphor. Because this person takes photographs of war set out in ordered rows. So suffering in a very rational way, which is something of this poem. The only light is red and softly glows as though this was a church, and he a priest preparing to intone a mass. So there's something almost religious about this. Belfast in Northern Ireland, Beirut in Lebanon, Phnom Penh in Cambodia. This line from the Bible, all flesh is grass, meaning cut to be cut down. These multiple locations. I think this poem's from the 80s. Multiple war locations. The places they choose are very interesting always to me. He has a job to do. Solutions slop in trays beneath his hands, which do not tremble then, though seem to now. Okay, so now there's something to do. The trauma is now. So it seems to me the fear is now, not then, strangely, when he was in the war. Now he's afraid. Now he's in rural England, home again to ordinary pain, which simple weather can dispel, to fields which don't explode beneath the feet of running children in a nightmare heat. The contrast. But isn't it funny? Well, no, it's not funny. Isn't it weird that it's here in England that he feels this terror, fear, whatever you want to call it. Again, the fear of witnessing, not just imagining, but not participating, going back like trauma, reliving the experience. Something is happening. A stranger's features faintly start to twist before his eyes. A half-formed ghost. Memory, these images throughout, these little photographs. He remembers the cries of his man's wife, how he sought approval without words to do what someone must, and how the blood stained into the foreign dust. He's a witness. I find this poem annoying, actually. So righteous and lame, but anyway. Here it is. I find it annoying, but I get what she's trying to do. He's a witness. He's getting assent to share the truth with others. 100 agonies. This word agony keeps coming up in a lot. Agon, conflict, black and white, from which his editor will pick 5 or 6 for the Sunday Deplement. Okay, so he's got hundreds of picks, but only 5 or 6 for a magazine. And he doesn't like this. And she doesn't like this. You can tell because the reader's eyeballs prick. I love that. The verb prick there is amazing. They prick with tears between the bath and beers. So they just little tiny touch ever so slightly. From the aeroplane, he stares impassively at where he earns his living. And they Do not care. What are they? His eyes? Other people? We don't know. But is this sarcasm or reality? What is it? He is like he makes his job taking picture. He kind of uses people's agony and misery for his job. Does he want something more? Does he want people to feel something? Does he want to be famous? Does he want things to change? He's on a plane doing it again. It's unclear to me. Am I supposed to feel bad for him, or am I supposed to feel bad for them? Like I said, this is a bit of an annoying poem. I think what we're invited to do is feel for the witness of the pain itself, and in many ways, like, let's say, I don't know which poems. Let me think about it for a second. But we're supposed to recognize the power of the artist, the power of the poet. So that might be Ozymandias, or that might be My Last Duchess, or any of the ekphrasis poems. So this might be another one of those, which is poetry about art itself. There you are.